Look, I love K-pop as much as the next person. I've stayed up at ungodly hours for comeback streams, dropped way too much money on albums just to pull the same photo card for times, and memorized entire choreographies in my living room like I was auditioning for SM's next survival show. But even I can deny that some fans have taken this whole standing thing to concerning levels. At some point, we need to talk about it. And let me be clear, I'm not here to tell you to stop loving K-pop. Obsessing over talented people doing cool stuff on stage? Totally valid. Building entire communities around your favorite groups? Beautiful. But when K-pop starts replacing your common sense and turning you into that fan, it's time to take several seats and reflect. Idols are not perfect. I know it's tempting to believe your bias was sculpted by the gods themselves, descending from the heavens with flawless skin and vocals that cure diseases. But let's face it, they're humans with stylists and vocal coaches. Just because they look ethereal under stage lights doesn't mean they're immune to mistakes, bad decisions, or plain old ignorance. The sooner fans accept this, the less chaotic the K-pop community will be. The problem starts when fans elevate idols to this godlike status where any criticism, no matter how valid, is treated as blasphemy. If your idol says something tone-deaf or gets caught in a scandal, the correct response isn't to form an online militia to defend their honor, it's to acknowledge the issue like a rational person. The mental gymnastics some fans perform to justify questionable behavior is astounding. They didn't mean it. It was taken out of context. Or my personal favorite, they're just a baby. Let's be real, if someone is old enough to sign million-dollar contracts and headline global tours, they're old enough to be held accountable for their actions. Blind loyalty doesn't help anyone, least of all the idols themselves. Growth happens when mistakes are acknowledged and addressed, not when fans sweep everything under the rug and pretend nothing happened. Do you think idols appreciate being treated like fragile porcelain dolls? They're professionals, not kindergartners. When fans constantly shield them from constructive criticism, it reinforces bad habits and makes it harder for them to mature. True support means wanting the best for your idol, and sometimes that means accepting they messed up. If there's one thing that's seriously lacking in many K-pop fandoms, it's critical thinking. Fans are so quick to latch onto rumors, fan theories, and the latest scandalous piece of gossip that they completely forget to pause and ask themselves, is this actually true? The way some fans gobble up unverified information without even a second thought is borderline embarrassing. Just because something is trending or being discussed by a group of passionate fans doesn't mean it's accurate or even worth believing. There's a huge difference between being a passionate fan and a delusional one, and if you can differentiate between the two, you're part of the problem. Take a step back and look at the bigger picture. The K-pop industry, like any other, is filled with business strategies, press releases, and carefully constructed narratives. Agencies are not some evil corporation secretly plotting against their idols for fun. In fact, most of them are just trying to make money and keep their idols in the public eye as businesses do. Yet, when things don't go as planned or an idol makes an error, the immediate reaction for some fans is to point fingers at the company as though they are orchestrating a conspiracy. Did anyone stop to think that maybe the scandal isn't about the company, but the person involved? Or that an idol's personal choices might have consequences that don't reflect the company's wishes? Critical thinking means recognizing that sometimes things just happen without needing a grand conspiracy behind them. The most frustrating part is when fans outright reject facts because it doesn't fit their narrative. If a company releases a statement or a reliable news outlet reports on something, the logical response should be to accept that as the most likely version of events until proven otherwise. But no, some fans would rather believe the wildest conspiracy theories simply because they don't want to admit that their idol is human or that they were wrong about something. This refusal to acknowledge any form of authority or reality is exhausting for everyone involved. The truth is, sometimes things go wrong, sometimes idols make mistakes, and sometimes companies drop the ball. That's part of life. Being able to accept that and move on is a much healthier approach than clinging to misinformation or spitting out venom when things don't go your way. K-pop fans should demand truth, not delusion. Critical thinking isn't just a skill, it's a responsibility. At the end of the day, K-pop is meant to be fun. It's supposed to bring joy, not add unnecessary stress to your life. Love your idols, stream the music, and enjoy the ride, but don't let it cloud your judgment. Standing smart means knowing when to log off, when to check your sources, and when to let your fave handle their own mistakes. So go ahead, buy that album, scream at that concert, and dance like no one's watching. Just make sure K-pop isn't the only thing rattling around in your brain.